If you listen to the Western mainstream media or the politicians in the West, China's economy is in the toilet, and there's no coming back from that.
Yes, sirree.
I'm not freaking blind, guys. It's Gweilo style.
I think it's Thursday.
You could die.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
Geez,
Oh, yeah, because it goes on and on and on. For all you haters, there's something to chew on for the next couple of...
Welcome back to the Gweilo 60 channel. You know, the economic strategy of the Chinese people and the Chinese government has been sort of a bone of contention with the Western world for 20 years or more. And they're always telling you China's going to collapse. Gordon Chang will tell you. Adrian Zenz will tell you that they're killing Uyghur people. And the United States government will be right behind them saying, yes, they are. We know this for sure. And they ostracize China for educating terrorists in Xinjiang Autonomous Region so that they're de-radicalized and whatever. But when Israel kills Palestinians because Hamas is, well, and I don't condone what Hamas did on October 7th. I really don't. I think that was an idiotic move, and it brings shit on their own people. But you listen to the Western media, and they say Hamas doesn't represent the Palestinian people. But then the Israelis say, well, you know, Hamas did this, so we're going to go in and we're going to kill a bunch of Palestinians. But Hamas doesn't, you know what I mean? Anyway, so, but you see, that's not what this video is about. This video is basically about how the Chinese economy is growing in leaps and bounds, even though the Western world tells you that it's in the toilet. And you just have to do a basic comparison over the last couple of years, say post-pandemic, where the inflation rate in the United States was up over 8%. Now it went down to, in April, I think it was 4.9%. I'm looking at the same stuff as you're looking at behind me. And in China, well, there really wasn't a lot of inflation in China because they didn't give away a whole bunch of money. Chinese people are savers. They didn't need the help that the Western world. You see, the whole Western world would have went into the toilet if the government didn't print a whole shitload of money, cause inflation, and all of this stuff and more. How do you grow a country of 1.4 billion people by printing more money than's ever been in circulation before? Oh, but Evergrande, oh yeah, well, you know, there's a couple companies there that got into big problems, and that was supposed to pooch the Chinese economy, an economy, the second largest economy in the world by dollar amount. But if you go with purchasing power parity, it's the largest economy, and has been the largest economy for a number of years in the entire world. So a couple of companies are going to pooch that. No, that's just not going to happen. You've got manufacturing. You've got, well, you look at the ports in China compared to the ports in export ports, import ports in China, and you don't have to be a brain surgeon to figure out that the Chinese government is doing something right. They're manufacturing more. They're bringing in more raw materials and sending out manufactured goods, and it's on a scale that we've never seen before in this world, and it's all because of the foresight, I guess, of the Chinese government and the hard work of the Chinese people, and not giving up and not kowtowing to the Western world. The Western world says, well, you know, we helped China become what it is, and becoming World Trade Organization and all this other stuff. Yes, it was decisions that were made by Western powers to be, I guess. But it was up to the Chinese to actually make it work for them and their people, the Chinese government. So that's a good thing. You get Monday's preliminary numbers show the economy grew at 5.5% for the first 6 months. An Australian bank cuts its forecast for China's growth in 2023 to 5.2% from 5.6 previously. It let its forecasts for 2024. It left like you got to learn to read there, Gweilo. It left its forecast for 2024 at 4.5% and 2025 at 4.8%, unchanged. Okay, so those numbers are numbers that our Western countries can only dream of. But when it comes to China, and I've been watching this disinflation, not inflation, but disinflation in China over the last year, where groceries are getting less expensive. Interest rates are going down. Housing is getting less expensive. And the Western world sort of twists that into something that's bad. Well, I call it a reset of the Chinese economy because things were getting expensive in China and the housing was getting expensive, the food wasn't. But if that happened in the Western world, they'd say, wow, we're doing a good job. Inflation is down. Our interest rates are down. Housing is more affordable. But when it comes to China, well, the economy is collapsing again. It's as I look at this stuff, it doesn't make a lot of sense. The propaganda that comes out of the United States, and the government pays for this, and the U.S. economy holding up while China's economic malaise deepens, and other economy stories to read this week. Yeah, well, more bullshit. China's economic downturn is more shocking than outsiders realize. Well, most outsiders don't have a clue about what's going on in China's economy, and that's basically the way it is. You've got all of these doomsday conspiracy theorists out there, the Gordon Changs of the world, yes, those knobs, and the California clowns. I'm sure they're not in California. They're in southern New York, by the way. I actually know where they are. But that's for another video that's coming up shortly. But the idea that, bouncing on the Chinese economy and trying to make it look to the rest of the world like China's failing in some way is basically the same as saying that the Ukraine is winning the Russian-Ukraine war at this time, or that the Palestinians will beat Israel even though it's backed by the United States. It's pipe dreams, and it's disinformation and misinformation, and that's basically what all of this is designed to do, to turn minds of you and me as Westerners, and our media is to blame for that. And behind the media is politicians, and behind the politicians are the big corporations, and that's just the way the world works. Anyways, China's economic recovery weakens. I look at all of this stuff, and after living in China for so long, and seeing all of this bullshit flying around the world so much, you sort of become immune to it after a while, and it goes in one ear and out the other, and nobody really gives a rat's ass what these people say, and that's no more true than for the Chinese people, because you know what? They don't care about the Western rhetoric. They don't listen to Western news. And everybody say, well, that's because they can't get it. Well, yes, you can get Western news in China, but they're just not interested in the lies and the brainwashing that the Western world is going through right now. They would rather just work harder, educate their children more, and make their economy and their country a stronger place to be, or a stronger country, and a better place to be in the future for their families. And we don't see that in the West. We see rampant homelessness. We see drug addicts. We see legalization of hard drugs. We see a government in turmoil. We see governments that only have 30-some% support, where they need another party to support them so the government can actually operate. We see fighting on Parliament Hill. We don't see anything constructive coming out of our government. Everybody is paying too much for everything. Everybody is overpaid. Our products, we can't make products in these countries anymore that can compete with the rest of the world out there, so we don't even try anymore. We used to be able to rely on high tech, and because we're so smart, you know, like we are the chosen people, and because we're so intellectual. But that sort of fell down around our knees. It's one of those things that now we can't even compete in that area of the world anymore. So as these countries that used to be those shithole countries out there are handing us our lunch back because they feel sorry for us because we can't compete anymore, well, it's because we're lazy, we're arrogant, we still think we're better than those people over there, even though they're highly educated, more highly educated than we are. They have more money, they have more manufacturing, they have more research and development, they are growing faster than we are. They have military strength equal to what the Americans do now, if not more. And they're building partners around the world to the point where the West can not compete with this shit anymore. And we're still thinking that we're somehow better than these people over here, and we're stronger, and we're wealthier, and we know more, and we you know what I mean? Like, holy smokes, we're in for a big crash here sooner or later, and it's because the Chinese work harder, so do the Vietnamese. The Indonesians, the Malaysians, the Filipinos, you know, they have their odds in that area of the world. But you know what? They work harder. They get up earlier. They have better moral values than we do. And they take care of their citizens a lot better. And we're the ones that are going to have to suck it up, buttercup, in the future, because it's going to be us that are being looked down on in the future because we aren't as smart as we thought we were. We aren't as rich as we thought we were. We're not as industrious as we thought we were. And there's going to be another master running this world, and hopefully they'll be a lot kinder than the masters of the last 100 years. And that, my friends, is another video from Gweilo 60. Hope you enjoyed it. Until next time, peace out. Bye now.